Hello, my name is Cherise Fortreed and I am a senior planner with the City of Fort Wayne Planning and Policy Department. I am here with David Schaub, senior planner with the Allen County Department of Planning Services, to present information on draft zoning ordinance amendments as part of an initiative to increase housing options in Fort Wayne and Allen County. This initiative has been spearheaded by the Housing Options Review Work Group, which was formed in 2023. The work group is comprised of members of the Allen County Department of Planning Services and departments with the city's Community Development Division. The primary objective of the group's work is to implement housing-related policies and action steps in the Allen Comprehensive Plan related to encouraging the development of more diverse housing options in Fort Wayne and Allen County. Generally, the scope of our work included reviewing existing policies and ordinances, conducting research on other communities, determining policies and standards that may be limiting housing options, developing and recommended amendments to ordinances and policies, along with a phasing and implementation plan. During the Allen process, we received many comments about the disparity between rising housing costs compared to average incomes in Fort Wayne and Allen County. This concern is supported by data which indicates that approximately 1 in 4 households in Fort Wayne and Allen County are cost burdened, spending more than 30% of their income on housing. Data also shows that 44% of renters are currently paying more than 30% of their income on housing. These trends have been impacting cities big and small across the United States. In general, this slide confirms that median income for Fort Wayne and Allen County households has not grown as quickly as housing costs. The graph on the left shows the trajectory of median home values for Fort Wayne and Allen County from 2010 to 2022 on the blue lines, and income trajectories on the orange lines. Median home values have increased between approximately 51 and 53%, and income has increased between approximately 3 and 7%. The graph on the right shows the trajectory of median mortgage payments for Fort Wayne and Allen County from 2010 to 2022 on the blue lines, and median rent trajectories on the orange lines. Median mortgage payments have increased between 63 and 65%, and median rent has increased between 45 and 47%. We often hear about how affordable our community is for home buyers compared to other cities in the United States. However, this data shows that we are not as affordable to new home buyers and renters when considering local median income rather than national median income. Demographic trends are also impacting the housing market in our community. One important national trend to note is that by 2025, millennials, or those born between 1981 and 1996, will comprise 75% of the workforce, while approximately 10,000 baby boomers, or those born between 1946 and 1964, will retire each day between 2011 and 2029. Our local census data is also supporting this national trend. On this slide, the blue bars on the graph show that from 2010 to 2022, the number of households in Fort Wayne and Allen County with someone over the age of 65 has risen from 20 to 26%. The orange lines show an increase in our overall population of people over the age of 65 from 12 to 15%. From a housing perspective, the millennial and baby boomer cohorts are driving most of the demand in our communities. Research shows that they both want the same things. They are more likely to rent versus own a home. They would prefer to walk or bike instead of drive a car, and therefore seek more transit options. They seek experiences over things, and they prefer mixed-use environments. For Fort Wayne, this means that there is a larger market for urban infill housing options as well as mixed-use development. A recent housing market study completed by Zimmerman Vogt Associates also confirms these trends. The first pie chart shows that in Allen County, 65% of our households are considered non-traditional, with either no children or childless couples, with 35% being either traditional or non-traditional families with children. The second pie chart shows the potential housing market, with many of these non-traditional households seeking housing options outside of typical for-sale single-family, with a majority seeking multiple-family or single-family for-rent options. These findings were supported by input gathered during public engagement phases of the Allen Allen Comprehensive Plan, where we received many comments on the need for additional housing types in our community. The local trend for smaller traditional and non-traditional family households can also be seen on this graph. The blue bars show that from 2010 to 2022, the number of households in Fort Wayne and Allen County with someone under the age of 18 has fallen from 35 to 30%. The orange lines show that our overall population of people under the age of 18 has decreased from 21 to 18% during the same time frame. These data trends, along with public input received, are reflected in our Housing and Neighborhoods chapter of the Allen Allen Comprehensive Plan, where the goals recommended supporting and strengthening complete neighborhoods and enabling sustainable and diverse housing choices, along with creative design and development solutions throughout Allen County to meet the needs of all residents. The Housing Options Work Group was formed based on a specific recommendation in the plan to review and update land use regulations to allow opportunities for creative and innovative housing solutions. Our work group spent time researching zoning ordinances in Indiana and around the country to see how different housing types are regulated compared to our ordinance regulations. The work group then prepared a set of recommendations on regulations that could be amended to allow for flexibility in the development of more diverse housing options in our community. The amendments we are going to discuss deal primarily with accessory dwelling units and zero lot line single-family residential housing types. Now that you have a bit of background, I'm going to turn the presentation over to David, who is going to explain more about the proposed zoning ordinance amendments.
Thank you, Charisse. In the last few years, the Department of Planning Services has made housing-related changes to the zoning ordinance that include reducing the minimum square footage of house from 950 to 700 square feet, added property standards for attached single-family development, and created a definition and design standards for container homes. Now I will explain the next steps that include accessory dwelling units and zero lot line single family. Let me start by assuring you that these proposed zoning ordinance amendments will not override existing covenants enforced by subdivision homeowners associations. Common covenant language will prohibit accessory structures and only allow one detached single-family dwelling. Other common covenant language will not allow any lots to be split without Plan Commission approval, which include a public hearing. I encourage you to read your covenants, if your subdivision has them, and have a conversation with your homeowners association. Now, to put it simply, an accessory dwelling unit is a separate place to live. It would have everything a house has, but it would be smaller. For example, an accessory dwelling unit must be less than 700 square feet in size, because a primary house is required to be at least 700 square feet in size. This type of housing would allow for aging in place, multi-generational homes, or an extra source of income. Accessory dwelling units can be freestanding or detached from the existing house. They can also be integrated or attached to the existing house. So, the first ordinance amendment proposes to add freestanding accessory dwelling units as a permitted use when they are accessory to a primary residential structure, like a house. Integrated accessory dwelling units are already permitted, but the amendment removes the requirement for only one utility meter and the requirement for internal access between the house and the accessory dwelling unit. Accessory dwelling units, or ADUs for short, are proposed to be allowed in all residential zoning districts and even mixed-use zoning districts like Downtown Edge and Urban Corridor. However, recreational vehicles, shipping containers, and other non-traditional construction types are not allowed as ADUs. Here you can see an example of a traditional infill opportunity in a neighborhood. This is what it could look like with ADUs. On the left, you see an example of a freestanding ADU, and on the right is an integrated ADU. Both are proposed to be allowed, but only one ADU will be allowed for each property. A freestanding ADU on the same property as an integrated ADU would not be permitted. The second proposed ordinance amendment focuses on zero lot line single-family dwellings, which is more commonly known as townhomes, townhouses, attached single-family, and side-by-side duplex. Essentially, this proposes one house on one property, with the sides of the houses connected. This allows for more houses to be built at the same time, but the side yard setbacks affecting existing houses would be the same. This second ordinance amendment proposes to permit 2 connected zero lot line single-family houses in the single-family zoning district. Up to 10 connected houses are proposed to be permitted in the 2-family and downtown edge zoning districts. An unhindered amount of connected zero lot line single-family houses are proposed to be allowed in the multiple family, planned residential, and urban corridor zoning districts. Here's an example of an infill opportunity in a single-family zoning district. Using zero lot line single-family houses, this is how an existing neighborhood can be developed. On the left, you see 2 houses built with an existing property line in the middle. If a property is big enough, it could be split in 2 with a new property line between the 2 new houses. You see an example of this on the right. Here's an example of an infill opportunity in other residential and mixed-use zoning districts we've talked about. With the proposed ordinance amendments, more than 2 connected houses would be possible. This example shows how 3 existing properties adjacent to each other could be reconfigured to build 6 connected zero lot line houses. While accessory dwelling units and zero lot line single family are the focus of these proposed ordinance amendments, there are a few other items we plan to address. For example, we propose to expand the buildable area for corner properties by reducing the side street setback in certain situations when the corner property isn't big enough. We suggest changes to the transitional use standards of the zoning ordinance. A transitional use is a low-intensity buffer between existing residential land uses and high-intensity commercial or industrial land uses. Transitional uses are considered a special use, which means a public hearing through the Board of Zoning Appeals is required. We are also recommending more special use options, like 2 detached single-family houses on one property, or a 2-family dwelling on one property in low-intensity and single-family residential zoning districts. Lastly, we are proposing to permit 2 detached single-family houses on one property in the 2-family and planned residential zoning districts. So, where do we go from here? We plan on having a Plan Commission public hearing in November for the accessory dwelling unit zoning ordinance amendment and estimate legislative action in December. Any changes approved would go into effect in March of 2025. We hope to begin the zero lot line single family zoning ordinance amendment process in the first quarter of 2025. Thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions or comments, please reach out through the Engage page, or you can also reach out through the contact information on the screen. Have a great day.